I made a
So this is a new thing for URCAD. There has never before been a panel discussion of the kind you're about to witness. So you can regard yourselves as having been there at the beginning. As is true of every time something happens for the first time, there are some glitches which we are trying to accommodate. So bear with us and we'll get there shortly. Problem solving on the fly.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I say, this is our first ever panel presentation. I'll take care of that for you. It's from members of the Erickson School. We have 4 people talking today. Alison Larson, Amy Huber, Ravi Bhatt, and Melody Khosravi. And they will be talking about our own campus. Their presentation is entitled An Age-Friendly UMBC, Accessibility for All. Spoke too soon, perhaps. Can you page back? Finally, here we go.
So, as you had said before, I'm Allison Larson. I'm a bio and psych double major and a minor in management of aging services.
I'm Amy Huber. I'm working towards a major in management of aging services, a certificate in MBA prep studies, and a minor in psychology.
My name is Melody Khosravi. I am a psych major with an aging minor.
My name is Ravi Bhatt. I'm a psych major with entrepreneurship minor currently.
So, as you can tell, we are all invested in different departments, and that just goes to show how important aging is to everybody. Our presentation is on making UMBC more age-friendly and accessible for older adults who might want to come back to UMBC to seek higher education.
We want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who helped us with our research. We have Mrs. Jane and Mr. Bill Quigley, Ms. Hannah Spalding and the Accessibility Committee at Rider Road Community, Mr. Gary Hibbs, Professor Galina Majeroff, and undergraduate management of aging services students. So thank you for your help. So I want you all to think about your first time coming to UMBC. We were all probably a little lost and a little nervous. There's a lot of unfamiliarity, and we all had to try to navigate our way around campus. It was probably a little chaotic. So now I want you to meet Jane and Bill Quigley. Jane is 85 and Bill is 87. They are older participants in FYS 101S, a first-year seminar at UMBC, where students work with older adults to create a digital story on a highlight of their life. I'm going to tell you a little bit about their first day coming to UMBC. The Quigleys were to meet the class on a Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. in the engineering building. The teaching assistant instructed them to park in Lot 9, as that was the closest visitor parking lot near the building. They were sent directions to campus from their retirement community in Ellicott City, a map of campus with directions to Lot 9 and to the engineering building, and a guest parking code with instructions for the parking payment machine. That Tuesday, the Quigleys arrived onto campus and could not find Lot 9 because the print on the campus map was too small for them to read. They called the teaching assistant, and the teaching assistant directed them to Lot 9. Relieved, the Quigleys hung up the phone, pulled into Lot 9, and found that there were no available parking spaces. Becoming more stressed, the Quigleys found another visitor parking space somewhere near Lot 9 and went to enter their guest code into the payment machine. There was a glare from the sun and poor color contrast on the machine, so the Quigleys could not figure out how to enter the guest code. Already late to class, the Quigleys paid the expensive parking fee and headed to the engineering building. The walk was really far and involved walking up a steep hill. The Quigleys arrived to the engineering building feeling tired and found they had to walk up a double staircase. Once they were inside the building, they saw high ceilings, very high steps, very few students, no adults, no signs, no greeter, and no visible elevator. They needed to get to the 3rd floor. A student walked by and they asked him where the elevator was. The student responded, "I don't think there is an elevator, I take the steps," and went on his way. The Quigleys looked at the high double flight of stairs with hesitation, but they walked up the stairs and found that they had to go up 2 more flights. They knew there must be an elevator, so they asked other students and were finally directed to one. Embarrassed, the Quigleys walked into the class 30 minutes late. They relaxed a little during class as they got to know the students and became more excited about the work they would do. After class, around 7 p.m., the stress kicked in again. The Quigleys did not realize that there were many different exits in the engineering building and could not figure out which one they had entered from. They asked the students from class where Lot 9 was, but no one knew. The Quigleys left the building to find a security location and found that it was dark and raining. They had no idea where they were and could not find security. Eventually, they came across a nice student who they asked for help. She too did not know where Lot 9 was, but went back to the engineering building with them. She helped the Quigleys figure out where they had entered in the engineering building and told them to wait there while she got her car. She picked the Quigleys up, and the Quigleys were able to direct her to where they parked. The Quigleys made it to their car and left UMBC extremely frustrated and exhausted. Stories like this is what made us explore the idea of an age-friendly university.
Students, staff, visitors, professors, on-campus workers, and prospective students. These are all people that could benefit from UMBC becoming an age-friendly university. An age-friendly university is one that fosters an environment where students are respected and given an equal opportunity to learn and participate in on-campus activities no matter what their age is. Dublin City University in Ireland started their age-friendly initiative in 2012. They can now say that they are the world's first age-friendly university. In order to get this prestigious title, they needed to create and implement 10 age-friendly principles. Some of these principles are: encourage older adult participation in on-campus activities, support students who are seeking a second career, and recognize different students' educational needs. In order for UMBC to achieve such a prestigious title, they need to implement similar age-friendly principles. So we decided it would be a good addition to our URCAD project to walk around to all the buildings on campus, just to make sure that they were accessible for all older adults. What we found was quite shocking. These snow pictures, they're on one of the days where we still had school, but there was ice and snow on the sidewalks, which could be treacherous for anybody, especially an older adult. We also found that not all the handicap bathrooms labeled were actually handicap bathrooms. There was a sign going into the handicap bathroom saying that the nearest handicap restroom was in the building next door. I know that would be very inconvenient for me to have to go to the building next door to use a restroom, and I can see how if an older adult needed to use a handicap restroom, it would be a pain to go into the building next door to use it, especially if they were in class at the time. We also noticed that lecture halls, although they do have handicap entrances and exits, the students either have to sit in the front or the back, of the room if they want to use the handicap entrances. This could be an issue for older adult students because if the professor refuses to use a microphone, they can say to you, just please move closer to the front of the room. And if the older adult student can't go up and down stairs, they're stuck in the back of the room and aren't given an equal opportunity to listen to the lecture and learn just like the younger students. Throughout our accessibility walk, we also found issues where handicap buttons didn't work. One of the examples was in the dining hall. People go in and out of there every day. Whether you are on campus, you live on campus, or you're an on-campus visitor. We also found dark elevators that didn't work in one of the parking garages. And Amy and I actually went in it and it was dark and the buttons weren't lit up very well, so if you were to go in and you didn't have a smartphone to whip out and turn on your flashlight, it would be hard to see the buttons to push. Many of the handicap paths and doors on campus are clearly marked, so if you do need to use a handicap entrance or exit, that can be difficult to navigate through the buildings. And some of the freshman dorms on campus, they aren't handicap accessible. If you want to go into the dorm and study with one of the students in your classes, you need to have the RA on duty come down and let you in through the service door, which could be embarrassing and also very inconvenient. So all of these issues could prove to be a problem and a barrier to prevent older adults from coming back to UMBC's campus and seeking higher education.
So the next couple of parts of our presentation is going to include the infograph. We'll hand that out later, but that has a lot of information that we collected from 2 surveys. The surveys that we came up with are for the older adults and for the student survey. The older adult survey was handed to Mrs. Hannah Spalding, who then distributed it to her partners. The team came up with 10 questions that were distributed to Mrs. Hannah Spalding, and thanks to her, we received 6 responses that were very helpful to the data and statistics that are collected on this survey here. As you can see, 50% of the respondents say that they have considered going back to college after turning 65, yet none of them declared that they would like to live on campus. They mainly declared logistical problems as to why not. They would say specifically moving in and out during the summer, different roommates, stuff like that. When asked what fears older adults have, they stated not getting one's money's worth, missing class due to illness, not being able to keep up, and not being able to feel as part of the community. All these things can be seen in the Quigley example as well, where you come to campus, you don't know where you're going, and you don't get the help that you deserve. Along with that, we asked what challenges they may see when they come back to college, and that included transportation, book fees, technological advancements, and tuition. With these responses, we then moved on to ask the students about a more age-friendly environment.
So we also surveyed students on campus, and so we distributed surveys to 122 UMBC students over the course of a week. And the surveys consisted of questions pertaining to on-campus accessibility and on-campus dorming. Although less than 1% of students surveyed reported having a physical disability, 80% reported knowing someone with a disability. 49% of students believed UMBC was not handicap accessible. This statistic needs to change fast. The hills, cracked sidewalks, slow working elevators, and not handicap accessible bathrooms and lecture halls could be a deciding factor for older students making the decision to come back to UMBC to pursue or continue their higher education. So when asked about on-campus dorming and living with older adults, we received mixed reviews. To clarify, there are 2 options for housing on campus. One could either dorm in one of the dormitory buildings available, which would mean sharing the room with 1 or 2 other students, sharing the room with 1 or 2 other students, or one could house in an apartment with separate bedrooms where they would share a kitchen, bathroom, shower, and living space. Some students stated that they wouldn't want to live with older adults at all due to the intergenerational differences that may arise. And some students stated that they would prefer to live with older adults in the apartments rather than the dorms because of the lack of privacy in the dorms and the potential benefit of creating intergenerational relationships.
So throughout our research, we kept the goal of ultimately creating and enhancing the campus and environment to welcome people of all ages. The participants, students and older adults alike, came up with great ideas to help improve the campus. These include fixing the handicap buttons to doors and bathrooms, using microphones in classrooms, adding and maintaining the handicap entrances in community centers and dorms, fixing the cement in the parking garages, adding more accessible parking spaces near the elevators, fixing the elevators, creating a senior-only housing facility, adding handicap buttons in every building, closing schools when icy, and fixing the sidewalks. These are just few of the many places that UMBC can improve. And with the support of the students and the faculty and the staff, we can work together to improve our campus.